All right, good morning, guys. Happy Free Comic Book Day. Oh, am I the one with the sound on? Shit, you guys, I'm so embarrassed. Oh wait, no, it's not me. All right, cool. Good morning.
It's not me either.
Oh, so I'm just hearing nothing.
I don't even have it up. Yeah.
Good morning. So happy Free Comic Book Day, and if you are in Kentucky like us, happy Derby Day. It's the day where everyone in our state puts on a big fancy hat, drinks a lot, and watches horses race. It's the highlight of the year. So,
I would never.
I do want a big fancy hat, but
that's the best part about that. Also, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you, yeah.
Right there.
We have like a whole bunch of stuff going on today. So, I mean, for those of you who aren't going out to Free Comic Book Day to get those deals, Kristan, where can they get the best deals?
If you want to pay for your comics, which you should on every day, but today, you need to go to instocktrades.com. They have the best packaging ever. And for us, who gets the big, heavy books, it matters so much, so much. I just got one of my IST packages yesterday, actually. I only had 3 books. The box was so much bigger than it. And, you know, most people will be like, well, that may be a waste. No, it's not a waste. They need every bit of that for those amazing bits of packaging. So my books came in pristine condition, and I got the cheapest prices, up to 50% off. It's the best. I'm not just saying that because it's true. They're the best. It's
absolutely. Fact. And there's a code this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, what is it?
30% off. Is it? I'm sure it's May the 4th. Sorry, you guys, you're just watching.
It probably is. You're watching us check our email.
Listen, In Stock Trades, we'll keep you updated on your email. It's important.
Who's going to win? Oh, may the 4th be with you. That's what it is.
Yeah, may the 4th be with you. But the 4th is a 4, TH.
Yes.
So
you save an extra 3% on your order. So definitely use that. It works on everything.
And it goes a long way. You don't think about it until you're making those big purchases, and it really...
And you're like, whoa, I got like many dollars off.
Yeah. So
Which is amazing because you're already getting $1 million off, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Robin.
Yeah, Robin is. She wants to join the show too. So today we are talking about the Eisner nominees. So the Eisners are like, what, like the comic book Oscars or Emmys?
Yeah, Oscars is what people say, yeah.
Oscars, the comic book Oscars. So I haven't read all of them, but I thought we could go through and talk about what we have. Or I made a big trip to the library. And let me tell you, why haven't I been doing that my whole life? I was placing holds online. My local library, which has a bunch of different branches, has a ton of books, and a ton of these books. I was like, oh my gosh.
It's the best way to celebrate Free Comic Book Day because every single day you could go to your library and experience the amazing. I do this all the time. I always have a bazillion holds like that. I'm ready to get in, right? I'm waiting for that email. I'm waiting for the IST email. I'm waiting for the library email. It's great. I always have something.
It honestly gives me the same rush as buying things. Yes. So I'm really going to have to start using that because if anyone watching is like me, when I'm sad or happy or any emotion, I like to treat that with buying comic books, which is how this whole mess behind me and this show got.
I get it. Yeah. And that's why I was like, I need to utilize my library.
Yeah. So now I can keep up with stuff and not spend as much money, which is really nice because I always hate when I see that everybody's big hauls and I can't keep up. So I'm going to pull up my little list. We can talk through. I'm using the list. Everybody at home wants to kind of stay with us. If you look up the 2019 Eisner Awards, one of the first ones that comes up is on comiccon.org, and they have a list. Now, I haven't read any of these short stories or single issues, but I figure we can start with some of the longer running series and like collected editions. So for Best Continuing Series nominations, we've got Batman by Tom King, which despite, my very
villain origin story.
Despite being my villain origin story, I really do enjoy Batman as a whole. I really enjoy that. I think it's fantastic writing. I think it's unfortunate how some events were publicized. Looking at you, number 50. But I honestly, for the most part, I really enjoy Tom King's writing, and I really enjoy Tom King's Batman. So I wholly recommend it. And then we've also got Black Hammer. That's a Jeff Lemire book. Do you read that?
It's so good. It's worth the hype. People are hyping this up. And Age of Doom, that's volume 3.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting better and better. So I also highly recommend that.
So Black Hammer is like is it like okay, so I'm asking because I picked this up from the library, Dr. Star.
Oh, okay, you can't read it yet.
Black Hammer? I can't read this. I have you read their stuff?
Not yet. Okay. If you do it now, you'll like it, but you won't relate to it because you won't have any background on any of the characters. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So this is the reading order I would recommend. Again, if you really want to, I think it'll work, but I read it like this, and I think that's the best way. Black Hammer, the trades volume 1, 2, 3, then go to Sherlock Frankenstein and the Legion of Evil. I think it's Legion of Evil, and then Dr. Star.
Got it. Okay.
So you're fully committed at that point. So you really care. You could read it now and you would still care because it is really just about him. But if you already have you know what I'm saying? Like you're already in the universe, you're going to really
trust your order.
Yeah.
So there's a Mir Humble bundle out right now, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's in it. So everyone should check that out. Yeah. And your library may have everything else if they have that.
I've never read any Jeff Lemire.
So you can always put those on hold if they're checked out. I do it all the time. You ever read any Jeff Lemire? Girl,
no.
What are we doing?
Oh my, okay, can you guys see that my cat is about
to
Robin. Robin. Well, that's life. Okay.
Cat content. I love it.
There's also, and stop me if you've read any of these because I haven't read all of them. There's Gasolina, which is an image book.
You know, here's what I'm going to say a lot, probably. I checked that out from the library once, and I didn't read it. Because here's what I do. I check out too much from the library, and I have to return it eventually, and then I maybe don't read it all. But it looked good. I'm hearing about it.
Giant Days got nominated, so I hope that they win. Because
it's ending. Yeah. They're ending at issue 55. I think 50 just came out. And I'm sad forever. I was really hoping to follow these girls until they were literally old women just complaining about their lives, and I would have loved it. Like Golden Girls style, I would have loved it.
Well, maybe they'll be able to have like kind of like what Terry Moore's just finished, like a 25 years after or whatever.
That would be so fun.
So we've also got The Immortal Hulk, which you've been reading.
I read the first volume, which is available on Comixology Unlimited. Again, this is all about free stuff today.
Yeah,
I mean, you pay for it, but then like you get a ton of free stuff when you pay for it, right?
Yeah, same with Unlimited, which has saved my life.
Yes, which I don't know if any of that's on there. I don't know if it's been long enough.
Oh,
it may have.
Maybe.
I haven't checked, but you can get volume 1 on Comixology, which is what I did. I really enjoyed it. People are hyping it up like crazy. I think it's worth the hype. It was really fun. Yeah.
And continue with Marvel's Runaways. Now, I was here. Now, I've watched the show. I'm sure people are like, oh my, I can't believe you've watched the show after the comic book.
James Marsters, hello.
Yeah, he's so good. Oh, sorry, but I always hear from Omar that he's very iffy about Runaways. Now, I like the show, so I think I'd like to try picking it up.
Yeah. You know, and I made the mistake. So I read some of Runaways when I was a teenager, the original Brian K. Vaughan run, and I really liked it, but I haven't read it since. So I actually, in stock trades, sometimes they have great damage deals. I got the Omnibus they came out with, damaged for like $30.
That's insane.
It's a $125 book. Okay, and it was still in a shrink. There may have been a tiny ding on the corner. I can live with it. Like, totally fine. So I plan to reread that soon because Rainbow Rouse is actually a continuation of all of that original stuff because my library has that. I picked it up and I was like, oh, I think I need to read the other stuff. Now she claims, oh, you can just jump into it. I want to go back and do it the right way. So
it'd be fun.
Yeah, I love Rainbow Rowell, though. I know you do, too. You read Fangirlz.
Yeah, and I love Nico Minori, so... Yeah. Watching that show and, like, that comic book just seems like exactly what I would have wanted to read as a teenager. Like, exactly my type of thing.
I was all about it, yeah.
Go into it as a full-ass adult.
So if you were going to pick from this category, I assume you just choose Batman, right? You kind of have to, right?
I would say Giant Days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I think Giant Days is what I would like to win. I don't know if it would. I think it should.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's good throughout. There's not a single part in that book where I feel like there's a lull. I don't know, but I do think that, you know, Tom King's Batman is really good. I really think it's really good. It's very compelling.
I love Black Hammer. And I'm not just saying that as a Jeff Lemire mega fan, because there's some stuff he's done where I've just been like, or I've actually hated Plutona. Don't read that. Don't start there, Maddie. So actually, you may start a Black Hammer. I think that's a great start if you've never.
I would like to.
And it's its own universe, and you know, it's super cool.
I'm gonna keep moving my list around. Okay, let me bring it back here. Sorry, you guys. It's weird to be the one that's like hosting it, because it's not as easy for me to go back and forth and check everything. Yeah, so I guess so we got limited series. We've got Batman White Knight by Sean Murphy. I haven't read that.
I haven't read it.
Okay.
Story of our life, right?
Story of our life. Okay, and now we're getting to the point where I have like books that I've checked out of these I haven't read yet, but I have them here so I can hold them up. And then we've got Eternity Girl, which I've heard really good things about, but haven't.
Oh, it's a young animal book. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it looks really cool. I don't know, and I've kind of like I've peeked through the art a little bit. I like the kind of light use of colors, almost pastelish.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I've heard nothing about this, but I see it tweeted about a lot. So I don't know if that means it's going to be good or not, but whatever. And then there's also Exit Stage Left, the Snagglepuss Chronicles. And I've heard great things about this.
Yeah, I've really wanted to read that one. I'll have to get that from my library too. So
it's Hanna-Barbera. I assume this is a character I should know about, but I don't. Does he always look like this?
I don't know either. I think Fariha loved that book.
Yeah.
And I've heard really good things about it.
I'm excited. I mean, I like cats.
Same.
So, we'll see. Okay, so then there's Mr. Miracle, which is the one thing I've read on this list.
Yeah,
and I've talked about this. I really, really enjoy it. I haven't done my second read through yet, but I keep talking about this book. I think I'm going to reread it before the final issue or after the final issue of Heroes in Crisis comes out. Do a review. Like a comparison. Kristan, you should join in too. I can just send you my digital copies of Heroes in Crisis. I know you'll have no connection to these characters, but I'm curious to see, as someone who also thinks a lot about like mental illness in comic books and like you know, how important that is, how you feel. Lee, who's watching right now, I've been talking to him about it a lot. We've really kind of gone in depth, like, okay, so what is Tom King feeling when he writes this? Does Tom King also seek out mental health, or is he just, I don't know, but
that'll be good. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. And then the last one on this best limited series is X-Men Grand Design Second Genesis. I don't know what that book is. I've seen it out and it looks very classic. So I wasn't sure if it's a brand new story with like old art style or.
It's basically he's retelling the X-Men history.
Oh, okay.
It looks super cool. I haven't dove into it. I've heard different things. Maybe someone watching later, because there's not many people in the chat, but can tell me if it's like, because I've heard like you should really have a knowledge of X-Men before getting into it, but couldn't it like give you that knowledge? So I don't know which one it is.
It's a really cool looking hardcover, because I saw it at the library and it's a lot bigger than I thought. I mean, it looks really neat. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a classic X-Men fan currently, but I would identify as an X-Men fan. I don't know. I'm curious. Maybe that's something worth asking Omar or something.
I think it's an amazing like feat to like take on, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that alone is, you know, worth the nomination, I'm sure.
Oh, I just see Lee talk about Snagglepuss and say he's not that hot in the old cartoons. Lee, I love you. Okay, so for best limited series, I haven't read all these, obviously. I've only read Mr. Miracle, but it just seems... I think I'd be surprised if Mr. Miracle didn't win. I think like it made such a splash in the community.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. And it's still, I mean, it's nonstop talked about. Still.
Yeah. And it's the first book I've read in a long time that I really felt like I wanted to read it again right away. And not just for the writing, but just the style of paneling throughout. And Miss Jared's art is, I love it. It just felt gritty, but not too gritty on purpose. You know, I felt like it was very real. So I would be surprised if it didn't win.
I will too.
So moving on, we've got Best New Series. Now, I haven't read any of these except for Skyward, which is at the end of this list. So we've got Bitter Root, which is an Image book. Crowded. It's a lot of wow. Actually, this is all Image. This entire category is Image.
They do put out like, I wonder if like compared to everyone else, if they put out the most new series.
I would not be surprised
because they do it all the time, right?
Yeah. And I trust them. It's one of the companies I really trust when they're bringing stuff out. We've got Gideon Falls and the Jeff Lemire. I did grab that.
I'm currently in the middle of that trade. It's interesting. I don't know what's happening yet, so it's interesting.
Yeah, the art looks really cool, so I'm interested.
People say it's not good. I mean, people say it's nice.
Oh, this is. Look at our hard commentary. And then we have Isola by it's a new Brendan Fletcher book by Image. I
keep hearing great things about that too. I know Jess loves it.
Okay. Maneaters. Did you read that? I know Fariha read Maneaters and said we should read it. It looked really cool.
I got the first issue because it was shiny.
And that's all I know about it. I know it's a very shiny cover.
But I didn't read it. I plan to. Again, such is life, right?
Yeah.
And Skyward also, I meant to read that, but I haven't read it. Will I like it?
Don't you worry. I read Skyward. I read a book at this. I'm catching up, you guys. Listen, I just discovered the library has everything I could ever want. I did pick up Skyward. I really, really like it. I love the premise. It's like suddenly the world loses gravity and everyone has to adapt. And you kind of figure out that maybe it can be reversed. And basically, like this girl, she's never known having gravity. So it happens. Her story is about 20 or so years, maybe after the event happens. Now, for me, this is not a new concept because I've watched many an anime that do this. And then also, I think there was one live action movie made with Kirsten Dunst that did the same. But I love stories like this. So I don't care if you keep using this trope. I really like it. I think it's really neat. A lot of people are talking about this book. More so than I've heard about some of these others on the list. I've heard a lot of people talk about Skyward. So I don't know. I mean, I'm basing this purely on like what I see on Twitter from creators.
I'm hearing a lot of people talk about Skyward and Gideon Falls. So I feel like those are the two.
Let's see what else we've got. So yeah, that's Best New Series. Again, all Image, which I think is really interesting. Mm-hmm. So we also have Best Publication for Early Readers. Now, I don't think we have to talk about all of these unless there's some that you have read.
I read Petals the other day. I should have grabbed that. It's like, oh, I think I returned it. Never mind.
Okay.
But that was really cool. It was like an oversized, like little thin hardcover from Boom, their Younger Readers Kaboom imprint. And it was, I really liked it. It was told without any words.
Oh, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, and if you can do it well and not just have a person flip a page, I found myself really like zoning in on the art, and the art was really great. And I don't know, I really liked it. It was just a cute little short story, so that was good. But what's better, which we're gonna get to, Peter and Ernesto, A Tale of Two Sloths.
Oh okay, I love sloths so much. And this looks so cute. So I'm very excited because if I like it, it's going to be an instant buy for me after. But it's just, I mean, look at this little sloth boy. Look at him.
So good. I love the art in it. It's, yeah, I also read that from my library like months ago, and I loved it so much. And they just came out with Peter and Ernesto, The Lost Sloths, which is the sequel. And it's just, I mean, it's just this delightful. And it's the two sloths and their whole sloth family. And they're trying to find a new home, like a hurricane happens at the beginning, and their tree's gone, so they got to find a new tree to live in. It's just so cute. So that deserves the praise. That gets the award.
Yeah, it gets my vote.
Just people.
And honestly, you know, for our viewers, I know a lot of people that we, you know, also collect comics may be sleeping on these novels that are directed for younger ages, and I hope that nobody ever does, because you really miss out on some incredible artwork and also incredible looking hardcovers.
And often incredible stories. Like so many, you know, I do this all the time. I go to my library and I pick up new graphic novels for younger readers, and I want to know what's out there. I don't want to miss out just because I'm a certain age. And I also want to know, like, what are we presenting to kids right now? And a lot of it's so good, and I'm so glad I opened my mind to that world. Like, all the Raina Telgemeier books are amazing. Like, anybody who's a comic fan not reading those, it's like, what are you doing? You're missing out on some great stories. And this was another one. It's just like, it's so good, and it just fills your heart with joy. It's a nice thing. I read this right after a Deadpool book. It's a nice palate cleanser where you're like, it's so dark and horrible, kind of. And then you read this, you're like, oh, I feel nice because 2 sloths.
I love it so much. It makes me excited because, like, I mean, what a great world for kids right now. Because when I was growing up, I didn't have those kind of options as far as, like, well, I mean, I had options, but when it comes to comic books now, you see a lot of representation and diversity in those, and that's so great. And you see, we talked about you know, younger readers' comics and TV shows. And I had Sailor Moon, and luckily I had those. I had manga options, but I didn't have American comic options. So I'm glad that's sort of expanding. So we also have a best publication for kids, 9 through 12, ages 9 through 12. And I've read 2 of these so far, and I think maybe
I've read 3 of them.
Kristan, you may have read more. Aquicorn Cove by Katie O'Neill. Do you have that one, right?
I have it. It's not
I haven't bought it yet,
but I have it. It's so good. It's
and
so
we talked
good.
about how much we love Katie O'Neill on this show.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything she does is good. So, and it's really like, it's a big, not even metaphor. It's like right in your face about, you know, the sea life and how we're hurting it and killing it, and, you know, recycling and things, which is really a really nice thing for like kids to read about too. Because, you know, she makes up these like new sea creatures, but it really is what's happening in our world too. Like, it's just, and it's so good. And there's tons of representation in that book, especially. It's everything you want in a Katie O'Neill book. It's fabulous.
and everyone should buy it. I mean, and her card covers are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even if you're just buying it just for your shelf, which is never, you know, for us, is never a problem.
Yeah.
Do it.
Even the spines, like the spines are so pretty.
Yes.
She always has like those little leafy things, and it's gorgeous.
So second on the list is Be Prepared, which I am really excited to read. I don't even care what's in here, but the art immediately grabs me. And it's a nice, chunky book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about this, I mean, just camp, you know?
It's also nonfiction. So it's about the author going to camp and having, and it's a Russian camp. And an experience that like I never would have known of had I not picked that up. And again, ages 9 to 12, like it's so cool that we're getting these other life views in younger kids' stories. I really like Be Prepared. I think you'll enjoy it.
I'm excited. And then there's Cardboard Kingdom, which I haven't read.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
But I do have the next two right here. I was able to, one of these I already had, but one I was able to get from the library. So Crush.
I loved it.
I
loved it. Have you read the other two, Awkward and Brave?
No, I love it, but I love Crush. And honestly, like,
it's so good. Crush is probably my favorite of the three, but they are connected. Like you'll see characters from the other ones after you read. Like you read that one, you'll be like, oh wait, I recognize this part. It's great.
And honestly, like I mean, not that it has to be a part about that, but I can't help but think and read this book and think about just body representation.
Yeah,
as main characters go, and that means a lot to me. That I just like.
Well, even like throughout it, like he's this taller, even like, you know, bigger dude that like a lot of these little kids are like scared of, and he's the sweetest sweetheart, and it's such a lovely story. I love that, and I love the art and the colors in it. It's great.
It's so great. Just like everything, the way this is laid out, it's fun. Please read it. It's so
read all three. They're all good.
I think, you know, as I think a lot of us can probably identify with this character and everything goes through as well. Like, I was the tallest kid in my elementary school, and everyone was scared of me. Like, I get it. And then there's the Divided Earth. Now, this is what it looks to me. It's a really nice looking hardcover. I don't know anything about it yet, but it feels very, from like just kind of flipping through it, it feels very Avatar: The Last Airbender-y. So like a lot of Asian influence in this, which is really cool. And I guess this is the third book of the Nameless City trilogy. So I probably should have picked up just this, but I didn't know that until I picked it up.
So I think that happened to me with that exact series. I think I picked up volume 2 and I realized it later. I was like, oh, so I never went back to get volume 1. I didn't even read volume 2, but I need to. It looks cool. Jordi Belair does the colors, and he's the one writing the new Buffy series.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah.
I might just go ahead and jump into it and just, figure it out later.
Why not? We do it all the time in the big 2, right?
Oh, you know what? That's true. That's true. Don't be scared of jumping in. All right. So that's all of those in that section. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I always want to go to bat for Katie O'Neill. I always feel like she win everything. So I think I'd vote for her or Crush on what I've read in my own personal, what I like. But I think Katie O'Neill.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Katie O'Neill too. I mean, Crush and Be Prepared were really great, and Crush was probably my second choice because it was so endearing. But Aquacorn Cove, I mean, I think there's great just messages to everyone in it, and also again you can't go wrong with Katie. Like her characters are so lovely, her art's amazing. I want to give her all the awards.
I do too. I just love her. Everything she stands for, I just think she's great. So then we have Best Publication for Teens. Now I did check out some. I haven't read any of these. I think maybe you have. We have All Summer Long by Hope Larson.
Loved it.
It looks pretty great. So I'm pumped. Just your usual 13-year-old in summer and what they go through.
Yeah, it was really, I really enjoyed it. And Hope Larson, she does Goldie Vance, which I love, and some other great things. Yeah, so it's just what you would expect from her because she's great.
And then there's also, I was going through the list. I don't know any of these books except for The Prince and the Dressmaker, but
yeah, it's the only other one I know. So
Gumballs by Aaron Nations. It's an IDW book. Middle West by Scotty Young. It's Image. Norway Book 1, The Black Bull of Norway by Image. The Prince and the Dressmaker, which I haven't yet read, but I kept seeing at half price books and be like, oh, I want to buy it, and then not buying it, and I've regretted it ever since.
You really should. I read from my library, and I'm so glad I did. It is so lovely. I'm already going to give the award to that. I loved All Summer Long, but The Prince and the Dressmaker is just so unique and something we need. You know what I mean? I read that, I'm like, ooh, we need a book like this. This is awesome.
And then we have Water Snakes, which is a Lion Forge book. But yeah, I haven't read those. So I guess we can just kind of go through. There's a lot in this list. It would take us too long to go one by one for everything, but those are the main big sections. Honorable mentions, in Best Humor Publication, we've got Giant Days in there, so I think that's.
I want it to win because it's always funny. Yep. I
did check out Woman World because that's in this
I
section.
wanted to read that. Yeah.
So we'll see how it is. Oh, Tig Notaro reviewed on the back.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I checked that out once, and I don't even know if I noticed that because I didn't read it. So I need to check it out again.
Tig Notaro says, okay, sorry, you guys.
I'm going to get it right now.
Chris and I are Tig stands.
Bye.
It says, turns out a world without men is very funny. It says Tig Notaro.
I love her.
So done.
Oh, done.
She's going to win the award.
Yes, definitely.
If Tig read it.
Sorry, Giant Days. Tig needs to read Giant Days, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, then we're good forever. And then we have Best Anthologies, which I always buy anthology books, and I'm never that into them.
I've been there. I mean, I think that's the whole one story will be really great and the next one's not so great. So that first one, Femme Magnifique, 50 Magnificent Women Who Changed the World, I actually just picked that up. I think it's still available on Book Outlet for $10. So I'm going to try it out. It looks super cool. It's really a well-made trade paperback. I don't know why it's not over here. but I can't show you. Also, the Puerto Rico Strong books and the Where We Live, A Benefit for the LA Survivors. I have that Love is Love book, which is like that. It went to the Florida, shooting victims. And I started to read it, and it was just so hard. It was so sad. And I was like, I had to put it down. It just hurt me. I mean, I'm glad I got it because it went to charity, but I didn't pick it up again because I was like, it hurts. Ow. I probably will, but it's so like.
Give it time.
Yeah, and when it's nonfiction, even the fictional stories in it feel real, Yeah.
I
don't know, it hurt me.
Yeah, typically I'll pick those up because I go to charity and I feel good about them. And I'll get a comic book, and so I'm supporting those artists and stuff too, but then I don't read them or I do, and it just doesn't connect with me in the same way. And I'm not sure why, but I'm still happy to have them. So
I think a lot of it for me is like, I'll read a story and it's really great, but it was like 5 pages and then those characters are gone and I get mad about it. I'm like, but this could have been so long and better, and so it's the good ones you want to stick around, and they never do, and it's sad.
Exactly. And then there's best reality-based work. I haven't read any of these.
The Box Brown book I haven't read. Is This Guy For Real? The Unbelievable Andy Kaufman. Reed has read it and loved it. He loves all of the Box Brown stuff, and he does like reality-based stuff. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. There's this category, best graphic album.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what that means.
I think they're referring to the way the actual book is presented.
Okay. Because this is the new Brubaker, which I bought, and also, look how beautiful this book is. But
I think that's the point.
I don't understand what makes this a graphic album.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's... I could be wrong. If anybody in the chat knows, like, let me know it. Or Reed's saying he loved Box Brown. Yeah, we know. The only one in this category I've read is Come Again by Nate Powell. Did not like it. Do not recommend.
Okay.
It's not worth your time. I love Nate Powell's art. Did the art in March, and I adored that. But I've read 2 Nate Powell books now that he wrote, and I'm just not... I'm not into it. So really did not enjoy that. My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies that you held up. I really want to read that. So I intend to do that. Everybody says that's great, so maybe that'll win. I don't really understand the category either. There should be a description.
Well, everybody's also, up their butt about Sabrina, and I've nothing good about Sabrina.
That's true.
So I don't know.
I mean, Fariha hated that book. Hated it to its core. She's not here to say it, but I promise it's true.
And then we have like a bunch of reprints. So we have best graphic album reprint. Again, I still don't know what that means, but I did pick up Upgrade Soul because you mentioned it. So I read a big book. This is big.
Get prepared to be hurt.
I'm ready for it. I'm all about that life. So
I've talked about Upgrade Soul before on here, but by Ezra Clayton Daniels, I'm really happy he got nominated. I think it's totally deserved. I'm gonna read everything else he ever does. That's one of the... It's not even one of the best books I've read this year. I mean, maybe. I'm just not thinking about it. But it's definitely the book that maybe affected me the most.
Okay.
Because I don't even want to... Like, I've kind of mentioned what it's about, but I don't even want to go into it. I want you to go in blind like I did. I was just total blind pickup at my library. And it is I will say it's the craziest thing I think I've ever read.
Okay. I'm in. Yeah.
And it's intense and so different. I think that's the biggest positive thing I can say about it. I mean, I'll say a lot of positive things, but it's unlike something you'll ever read or you've ever read, I feel like. At least for me. Recommend it.
Yeah, Mary's in the chat saying it hurt her soul.
Yes, that's exactly what it does. It hurts your soul. The Vision hardcover is also in this category, which is especially interesting. I loved that series. Like I loved it, but I've heard the hardcover is actually not the best production quality.
Really?
The pages are really thin, I guess.
Weird.
I don't know. I don't have it, but I loved it. If you haven't read it and you're watching this, I don't know what you're doing. Like, go read it.
Vision. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm really hoping that this whole WandaVision series that's coming up, it's set in the 50s. I'm like, well, if they're going to do that, it just seems silly not to model it after Tom King's Vision.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah. Although they'd have to change some characters around, I guess.
Yeah, they really have to change them.
Yeah, but they should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah. And then we have a few others categories. I mean, it goes on and on, but best adaptation from another medium. There's Anne Frank's Diary, Frankenstein, which is the Junji Ito Frankenstein, which I'm definitely going to buy.
Yeah, me too.
Because those hardcovers, like if you like manga,
beautiful.
The Junji Ito hardcovers that are out now are beautiful. They look so good on your shelf. They feel good to hold. They're just
You want to rub it on your face. It's a whole thing. It's weird.
Yeah, I should be talking about the content of the book. The books are really good, you guys. I promise. But also, I can't help because a lot of us collect, so I think it's something worth thinking about if you care about how your shelf looks.
Yeah, even the spines are beautiful. And I mean, there's just Cat Diary came out in only a trade, but that's again one I always push to people because I'm like, no, you have to because it's so good.
Yes.
Because like this horror guy, it's nonfiction, like is scared of these cats, which is hilarious. Like it's great. It's really great. And as a cat person, you'll love it.
Yeah. And then Out in the Open and Speak. I did grab Speak.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I loved that book back in school.
Yeah.
So, and the adaptation was fabulous. Emily Carroll does the art, and she did that, what is that, Into the Woods book? I think that's what it was called, which is also great if you haven't read it. It was really good. So her art's amazing, and that's an amazing story, and I think they did really well with that adaptation. So I'm going to vote for that one.
All right, I think that's good. And yeah, that's basically what I have, or like what really look through. That's your main group. There's a whole lot of different categories. I think if any of you in the chat have any recommendations later. Oh wait, the Terry Moore Strangers in Paradise Gallery Edition. I've got that.
I was gonna say you have that.
Wow, you guys, it's right here. It's this big. Oh, it's so big. It's so big.
That's a nice book. It's a nice looking book.
Oh, I can't wait for you to like come visit so I can just.
I'll tap it. It'll be good.
It feels so good.
Everything else, like best archival collection project, the strips, the Star Wars classic newspaper strips. I have one of those books. IDW puts those out under the Library of American Comics. They do a lot of comic strips that way, and they're gorgeous books. Like they do the Donald Duck ones. I have some of those. And they're like, they fold open really wide, and it's just really nice to read comic strips in that form. And there's really nice hardcovers. So I recommend those if you like nice books. And best writer, Alex DeCampi, Tom King, your favorite.
I mean,
Miracle and Heroes in Crisis. They're together on this.
Oh gosh. Yeah, Jeff Lemire, Mark Russell, Kelly Thompson, which I'm glad that she's nominated, but also none of her books are, which is interesting. But I think she's great. So
she's great overall. Maybe they were just like, she has too many good books. We can't.
Yeah, we just can't pick. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. And Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
He's great. I think I'm gonna vote for Kelly. I've just read so many good Kelly books this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to. She's so great,
Yeah.
I would definitely vote Jen Bartel for best cover artist.
She's great.
Oh man, but I do love Nick Darrington's Mr. Miracle covers too. I think you've got some really interesting covers in there. But go either way. Yeah. So, free comic book day today. Are you gonna go do anything?
Maybe. I'm at least gonna have Reed go pick me up some books while he's in a bigger city than I am right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But there's some great stuff coming out that we especially like. There's a Whedonverse book, which is Buffy and Firefly from Boom. Lumberjanes is coming out with like a one-shot. Deadly Class is coming out with a one-shot. Sheets is coming out with a like an original story from that universe. So I'm really excited about that
Aw.
one. So those are my big like picks. And I think there's a Stranger Things Black Hammer book, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, I think normally so. It's a little bit different today because today's busy. We have the morning show. I was also waiting for a washer to come in. And I'm going to a wedding this afternoon. So normally every year, because we have about 4 or 5 comic book stores, I make a plan, like a schedule, in which I plan out which when they open. I do like a Word document and I write down the deals for each store and I plan it out. But I didn't do it this year because didn't have the time. But I'll probably, a lot of our stores in town have a buy 2 get 1 free on graphic novels. And there's one store in town that does 40% off hardcovers, which includes omnibuses. But I don't know.
See, my issue is my stores around here don't do things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, usually I'll pick up the free books, and if there's something else, cool. But I don't know. I've placed too many IST orders lately. I'd rather go to the library, I think, and get my free books. Oh
yeah, so we can announce real quick. Part of the reason why I'm not spending so much today is because I'm doing my IST order next week, because we've got our pick of the week coming up next week.
Oh yeah.
And that's Mariko Tamaki's new book, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. So they're going to do a 50% off on the hardcover and on the soft cover because there's limited numbers. So you can expect that on Tuesday around 3 p.m. That's when that usually drops. I'll be definitely picking it up. I love everything Tamaki does. I love. Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me looks really, really good. I'm picking up that hardcover for sure. I don't even really completely know the story, but I don't care.
Yeah, I know the premise, but I think everyone should go into it blind and just look at that cover. That is a good cover. Beautiful. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know about Tamaki, she's written a lot of different things, but she wrote Supergirl Being Super, which I love.
I also loved.
And she wrote this one Summer, right?
Yeah.
The time of that book, which I actually haven't read, but I've heard amazing things about because it's her and her sister writing it, or writing and drawing it. But so keep an eye out for that. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I guess real quick, I can do real quick. Show you guys what I bought this week. Just a real quick one. And the rest of my library books I picked up. I picked up Archival Quality.
Yes.
It looked really cool, and it's based on Kristan's recommendation.
Yes.
Books.
I'm so excited.
I was in a comic book buying mood this week, so I just treat myself. I won't wait for free comic book day, whatever.
Speaking of great mental health representation.
Yeah.
It's a great book for that. And I love the art and I love the story. And I also thought it was wildly unique. So I need more people to read that. It was great.
Okay. I also picked up, I've already read this, but My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness. Now this is a book it's a true story about a woman in Japan. She wrote this herself. She became a manga writer, and her struggling with just her own mental illness in Japanese society, and also being a lesbian and just dealing with that and her own just kind of lostness in the world. And I don't talk about this a lot, but something I really focused on in college is studying Japanese mental health, in particular hikikomori, which are extreme social withdrawal. I won't get into the whole deal, but it's very, very rare and very interesting to get a story, a true story from someone in such a sincere and honest way from someone in Japan. So to really get a brutal, honest view and representation of that is a big deal. I wholly recommend this. And I also just checked up from the library, her second book, My Solo Exchange Diary. I also recommend it. So if you're into LGBT books at all, I recommend it. If you're not and you just want a neat thing to read this. And it feels very manga style.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. It started out as an online webcomic. Please check it out.
It's some great nonfiction. And the art, the way she does the coloring, I love that too.
So good. I picked up Red Hood and the Outlaws Volume 4 because I'm behind on my DC stuff. I don't know what happened, which is fine because now I have a lot to look forward to and buy. So
that's always fun.
I'm a little bit behind. I love this series. It's right before, I guess, stuff happens and Red Hood goes out on his own. I'll blame Tonking for that too. I don't even know why, but I blame him because he's ruined everything I love. So I picked up Mara Tidebreaker. This is another like written for younger audiences story that focuses on Mara. I've read mixed reviews about it, but honestly, I think I'm still gonna like it. I think people who read it probably were already maybe like older Mara fans that were expecting something a little bit different from this book. I think it's your typical Mara origin story, from what I understand. I also picked up this book, which apparently Jess hates, Beautiful Darkness. I didn't know this is like the meme joke of the Omnibus Collectors group.
He bathed that one in root beer. If anyone watching knows what I'm talking about. He bathed it in root beer, hated it so much. But I know Omar liked it. So there was that, you know.
I know Mary's in the chat. Fellow Murderino. This is creepy as hell. Please read it.
Mary read that. I don't remember what she said. Mary, if you're still there, what did you think about that?
It's real creepy. And last but not least, because everybody has free comic book stuff day stuff to do. I picked up the first hardcover of Injustice, Gods Among Us. I'm very, 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 very excited to jump into this. I've been dying to read all of these. I love the games and I love the premise. So really excited. Nice little Elseworld story that doesn't affect everything else. Tom King.
Mary says so creepy for Beautiful Darkness.
It's so creepy.
Oh, and real quick, I'm going to go through some of my stuff real quick. I've been reading Gwynpool from my library, which is so good. And, you know, Free loves it, and I love it too. This is just, it's so fun. And she knows she's in a comic book consistently the whole time. And that's consistently, like, fun and hilarious. I've also been reading a lot of Mutts, the comic strip. Are you guys familiar with Mutts? It's been around for like 25 years.
No, but this looks adorable.
It's a dog and a cat. It is just, literally, it's just so cute and lovely and positive and so silly. And it's just such a comic strip. But, like, it has been such a nice break, again, because I've also been reading a lot of Deadpool. Like, it's just been such a great palate cleanser. I'm obsessed now. I love this dog and this cat. So that's been great. Deadpool, what I've been reading, I'm on the 4th hardcover volume of Deadpool World's Greatest, which is the follow-up to the Brian Posehn, Gary Dugan run. And it is so fun, but like dark and like hurts me a little bit. But it's so good, and I do really enjoy it. So that's been great. My next pick I'm going to read from my library is Lucy Nicely's Kid Gloves.
Oh, I want to read it.
She's so good. I love her. I love her stuff. Her nonfiction is really, really great. I love her art. And this is about her like having a kid, and she's funny and wonderful, and you should follow her on like Instagram and Twitter because she's great. I also got Batgirl Year One from my library.
Let me know how you like that.
I'm interested. Have you read it?
No, I haven't, but I love Batgirl.
Yeah, and it looks like, I like the art. It looks good. So I'm going to try that out. I also picked up, again, I pick up too much from my library.
I love it.
This is Dan Slott's Fantastic Four. The next volume of Gwenpool I'm going to do. X-Men Black. And you're going to like this. West Coast Adventure. So I hear this is wonderful from both of them.
It's just fun. It's just a nice little fun, wholesome adventure. And we need more of it.
So that's it. That's what I got. So I think overall what you guys should have learned from this is go pick up the Peter and Ernesto books because they're so lovely and fun and it's sloths. Yay.
Yep.
That's
my recommendation. If you didn't get anything else from this, go read this wholesome little book about sloths.
Yeah, because you'll love it. You'll smile the whole time. At least pick it up from your library. Like, you literally have nothing to lose. Free comic book day every day.
Yeah, absolutely. We need more librry haul pictures.
Yes. Hey, I could do it every week.
All right, cool. Great.
We should both go crazy every week.
Yeah, let's see. I mean,
what we got?
How can I keep this up? Will I read everything? Stay tuned. All right, so we're cutting a little bit short today just because it's Free Comic Book Day, and we're eager.
What's going on?
But thank you all so much for joining. If you end up watching this video later, feel free to comment below and let us know like what you picked up today. You know, if you're watching now, want to come back later and comment just so we can see what you picked up, or tell us about your library haul or your Eisner nominee predictions or whatever. So.
And remember to use May the 4th be with you as your extra 3% off code for In-Stock Trades, our wonderful sponsor this weekend. They're the best. Go buy from them. Go pick up your free comics and be like, I saved so much money. I got to give it to In Stock Trades.
Yeah, to buy stuff and then also buy our pick of the week. Laura Dean keeps breaking up with me, releasing on Tuesday.
Check it out.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.